and welcome to my channel. I'm the Angry Simmer. Today's video, I just want to start out by apologizing to my regular viewers. Hi, if you're new here, I, for a while, have had a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this will probably come out on Friday the 10th of August, and it'll be the first one in a really long time. Not quite as long as Hey Harrie took off from doing YouTube. No shame, girl. You're still amazing. But no, like we've talked about, there's been crazy stuff going on. I actually, over the weekend, had my niece and nephew, the previous one because it's Friday now. Anyways, I had my niece and nephew for that, so I wasn't able to pre-record for this week because a lot of crazy stuff has been going on, and I've changed personal trainers and just tons of crazy stuff going on, plus still not feeling super great since the break-in. And then my best friend's house got broken into in a completely different state. It's unrelated to the break-in that happened in my house. But unfortunately, the people that broke into her house were also people that she knew, just like what happened at mine. So it's just been a weird sort of time, and she kind of struggles with depression too, so this hasn't helped anything. And I kind of have just been sort of on the watch for stuff with her. I've been very nervous and worried about her, so hey, if you hear this, I love you, girl. You're gonna be okay. We're both gonna get through this. So yeah, so that's been going on, and then we've just been kind of like trying to get the house back together, and then on top of that, we decided to build a new kitchen table because the one that we have is a tall one, and I'm like 5'5", and my mother-in-law is 5'3", I think. 5 foot, 5'3", somewhere in there. And then my mom and my little sister are also between 5 foot and 5'3". So anytime we sit in the chairs there, it's kind of an issue because we set our feet on the bar that supports the middle of the legs because we can't touch the ground in the chairs. And that's caused those chairs to kind of bust and not be in the best condition. And I saw, this gorgeous anthropology table that is, $1,300. No, it was $3,000 for this stupid table. And I was like, And then I saw a video and something on Pinterest about building one on your own. So maybe I'll record us doing that, because all we've done so far with our with that is like put the stuff together. But we were supposed to work on that last week. We decided to go get my niece and nephew from Indiana, which is like a 4-hour drive away from my house. So we had to put that on the back burner because we ripped the carpet off of our stairs. We're going to replace it. We had a water leak in our basement, and it seeped out into the hallway and got into the carpet, and that's not good. I'm allergic to mold. We didn't want any of that to happen, but the nails or carpeting screws, whatever it is, are still sticking up on our stairs going down to the basement. So yeah, it's a little dangerous for my niece and nephew to be around that. So we just decided we're not going to deal with that. We'll make a baby gate, because our stairwell is just wide enough, and then we of course have base molding, and then there's a little bit of square detail to the bottom of our handrail going down the stairs. So it's a little crazy. So we built a baby gate, and that kind of put the rest of the table on the back burner for a little bit. But now we've ordered chairs because it was a Pier 1 sale, and now I wanted to spend $70 max on these chairs. Absolutely, I think it's dumb to spend that much money on chairs, but turns out you can't really get away with that. So we bought our kitchen table and chairs in a set from a company, and they look good, but they've been falling apart, so we didn't want to go back to that same company because we got a pretty good deal on it. But so we ended up going to Pier 1. They had the chairs were already on sale. There were normally $200 chairs that were on sale for $199, or they were on sale for $99, and then there was also 15% off. So overall we saved $600 because we had to buy 8 chairs. Oh, if you hear anything rustling in the background, there's apparently a trash bag, or a Walmart bag, that my cat has brought into my office, and she's sitting on it right now because she's cute like that. Hi, Harley. Oh, sorry, I bumped the mic. Yeah, she's staring at me right now could you speed this up, lady? I need pet. That, I will say, since the everything that's been going on, and the stress and the break-in, and being tired, and by the way, I'm working on the Ireland vlog. I'm putting stuff together, or at least I started to. So yay. Anyways, but since then, Harley and I have gotten a little closer. She's been super. She wasn't here when the break-in happened. Her and my dogs were at a kennel that we usually board them at when we go on big trips like this. And I'm really glad because, you know, the doors were open. They could have gotten out, gotten hurt, gotten, you know, stolen, whatnot. So, but because she had to stay there for 2 weeks instead of the 1 week that she's used to, it was crazy. Like, she was so upset with us. She was so depressed. She thought she was being left to die. Oh, and I realized that I messed up the footprint there a little bit. Let's see. Also, I want to say I started working on this build on like Monday. It has taken me all week to finish this. This is not a huge build. I did put it on 64 by 64 lot, but like the house itself could probably fit in a 30 by 40. I tried to move it to that, but you know, I put the fence in, so issues. But this was a plan that I found on Pinterest. I thought this is a really cool house. I would love to have a house with this setup. Right now, our house is set up where like all the living spaces, or the sleeping spaces, I guess, are on one side, and then like the living room, dining room, kitchen, sunroom are all on the other. When we were looking for a house, I wanted a split floor plan where the master bedroom was on the opposite side of like the guest space. So I didn't get that. Every other house that we looked at had the split floor plan, like every other house. And every other house had like, except for like 2, we looked at some in subdivisions because I didn't realize they were in subdivisions and they were just so nice. One of them, I really wish we could have moved the house from where it was in like onto a piece of land. It was like perfect setup as far as what I wanted. And then the basement was completely finished the way we would have wanted it finished. So it was just awesome. Here's me trying to do some landscaping. I am mimicking what they had on the picture. So that's why I did like the landscaping outside the fence. But it just didn't translate to the Sims very well. And I'm sorry. I need to sit here and like study Hey Harrie's landscaping videos. Because as she said, like landscaping makes the build. And yeah, my landscaping's not super great. So yeah. Anyways, I'm also super rusty. Like I've been saying, I haven't been building a lot lately. I have done a lot of like Peacemaker made a lot, or not a lot dump, but kind of a lot dump. He did a bunch of Brindleton Bay houses. Oh, and stuff's falling off around me. Great. I was trying to do my nails. I wanted to do glitter on one, and you got to use the little pads for that. Anyways, that's what fell over. But so I've been like downloading those and putting them into a space, and then I like decorate the inside because that is super relaxing for me. It's helped me with my stress. I've been, you know, creating Sims, but those don't seem to do very well on the channel. As much as I enjoy making them, people just prefer house builds. And you know, I can't say anything because I'll go on to like a create a sim video and I'll only watch it for like the close, and I'll look for like the links in the description box, and then I kind of move on. Like I hate doing that. I always watch the advertisement though. Do not think that I skip that on people, because I know how hard it is to do this. And if you've done this long enough to get advertisements, no matter if it's just a little bit, you deserve that revenue. So looking out for you guys. It's funny because like even on the big channels that I watch, like I watch Sarah Ray Vargas and Patricia Bright because I like fashion too. And then I watch a couple that like Demolition Ranch. I don't watch the demolition part. I watch the like what is that section? What do they call that? Off the ranch. There we go. So like just their family, because I think they're such a cute little family. My husband likes watching Demolition Ranch. He likes that family. So it's kind of a moment that we get to watch YouTube together. So I watch them because I just like watching vlogging. It's kind of interesting. And they've kind of been the ones that have inspired me to build more stuff on my own and learn how to do things with my hands. Like, they were making that, they made the same table that we're going to make. I originally had this like super advantageous, like the ones with the big crazy feet on them that I was wanting to do. And then I realized I don't have, the equipment to make the feet. You have to like spin the wood and things like that to make it really cool. So that's probably why it was a $5,000 table. Anyways, I do add some more to the to the yard in the back too. It's not super duper plain, but I do cut a lot of that out of here just so it, like, you see it towards the end of it, but I don't show all of it. Anyways, I decided, so the plan of this is called the budget friendly. It's a super like wish haul sort of thing sounding title to this plan. But anyways, budget friendly modern farmhouse, something else like eco-friendly, black and white, even though you can choose whatever colors you want for this. Clearly, 3-bedroom, large garage, space-saving home, something like that is what the name of it was. Also, this I put an office there in that room you can see off the kitchen. It's supposed to be a pantry, and like in a normal house, that would be like totally what you'd have there. It's an awesome walk-in pantry. But like, I made it into an office because I didn't want to take away from the bedrooms. At my house, we have the office in one of the 3 bedrooms. That's how that works. But there's also, like, in this floor plan, there's a storage space off the kitchen, like when you off the garage, off the kitchen. I didn't put a door to it, but if like you're playing this and you want to add a door, that would make sense if you want to put in a pantry for some reason. I realize every time I do this that I should not put these beams in until after I finish the room, but unfortunately I always do it, and then it makes it difficult to actually like work on the house. But you know, anyways, also I know like the beams don't look super great right now with the dark hardwood floors, like you can't, or they don't bounce off or contrast that well, but in the screenshots you'll see with the white ceiling that The Sims populates, and only the white ceiling that The Sims populates, because you know, why let's change that, even though we got to do that in Sims 3. No shade, Maxis, with your changes and your not quarterly teasers. I'm sorry, I'm one of the people that thinks that's like, more interaction is great, and if they just announce that they're gonna do, like, this is not an announcement interaction video or whatever. This is just a live stream so that we can talk to you guys and learn more about what you want from the game. Like, that's great. Cool. But, guys, I want my quarterly teasers. I want to know what's going on. And I don't want it to be like a live stream that I have to log into. Like, I don't go to work anywhere, but I'm talking about going back to work. So, like, I'm not gonna have time all the time to do that. And even because I don't go to work daily, like, guys, I don't have the time always to dedicate to watching a live stream. There's other stuff that goes into living your life as a spoiled housewife. Like making YouTube videos for you guys instead of washing the laundry or cleaning up the cat litter that the cat likes to drink. Listen, my cat does not like make a mess in her litter box. She's very neat and orderly in there, but she will take the litter out of the box before she uses it, kicks it around, and then brings it into spaces in the house and just like drops it around just to let me know that she's in charge. Like, the litter box is in the laundry room. There is litter, literally like just little pieces of gray little things that she'll like overnight will show up. And it'll be a trail from there, around through the kitchen, next to the trash can, and into the living room. Just barely into my living room that I just cleaned, so that she can assert her dominance over me. I know that's what it is. Don't tell me it's not. She's a little jerk. She does those things, even though she's freaking adorable and cute and cuddly. And maybe I'll put a picture in of her cute little face. Ooh, I should put in the picture from this morning of me eating breakfast. Hold on. Okay, through the magic of editing, I'm right back. And there's a picture of Harley up in the top corner for you. That's my girl. And yes, I've given up on having her not sit on the table while I'm trying to eat breakfast. That's just how she rolls. And yes, that was a Christmas coloring book. I don't care. Judge me. Go ahead. I don't have any problem. It's like the only coloring books that I have in the house are Christmas ones because people gave them to me for Christmas. And yes, I am 27 years old and I color in coloring books because you know what? Not very often, but I had my niece and nephew at my house for a weekend and they wanted to color all the time. And everybody gave them like Disney coloring books and bird coloring books and like whatever kid like know me trolly things that they like. They gave them those. My niece kept telling me, color with me, please. And so I did because she's adorable and she wanted me to color with her. Of course I'm going to color with her. And so it was kind of funny. There was this one, it was the Disney coloring book, and it was the Hoot Owl from the Fox and the Hound that I'm coloring. And she's like coloring, I don't know, like Ariel or something, Sebastian on the other page. And I'm like going very slow, and I'm like doing a light color wash of a very light brown on him first, and I'm going to go over it in dark. And she's just like got 8 colors, and she's like, rainbow! With the black crayon and like a purple one, and I'm like, those aren't rainbow cups. Anyways, whatever, use your creativity. She's like, I'm making you a rainbow, and I'm like, okay, sweetie, that's beautiful, I'll put it in the refrigerator. I'm not putting it on the refrigerator. She took the coloring book home with her, so how am I supposed to put it on the refrigerator? Anyway, but it's cute. I totally like it. It's kind of like a little bit of blue balls because and you know, the only way that I could get that, but I would get to color for like 5 minutes and she would be done super quick. And I'm like, well, I want to color now. And so after she left, I like busted out my coloring books, and I've been coloring Christmas ones because that's all I have. But it's kind of like limiting because so she is little. She's like 5, and she can, you know, her imagination goes rainbow butterfly, yay, and rainbow Ariel, and I'm gonna color every eyelash a different color, and woo, and I don't have to say in lines. But for me, I'm like, okay, the colors of Christmas are red and green, or blue and white, or like, you know, the colors that go together. And so like I don't want to mix things, and I don't want to change them. Like I can do some really good like layering of colors, but my brain wants to stick with the, you know, the things that are supposed to go together. And like white can be so interesting in a color palette for Christmas trees and things like that, but you can't, you know, that's not how you color a coloring book. So I've just been like kind of struggling a little bit. You saw in that picture where it's like it's kind of half colored. You know, I'm cool with gold and red and green being together, and like brown, but brown's not very exciting. And yeah, anyways, and I can't remember if a reindeer's nose is red or black. I think it's black. Yeah, because Rudolph red-nosed reindeer was different. So that was Rudolph. I was coloring grown-up Rudolph with lots of ornaments in his antlers. Deal with it. No, I realize it's August. I don't care. It's the only coloring book I have, and I'm already planning for Christmas. I've been planning for months. Like I already have some Christmas presents for my sister picked out. I think purchased. I'm gonna try and like make something else for her. I've got ideas for my sister-in-laws. I need help for my husband. So here's the hard part. I'm really good at picking presents for like people I don't see very often, because like you don't have that same relationship with them where you're thinking, well, if they really wanted it, they just go buy it from themselves, you know? Like you don't think about that. You hear that somebody wanted something at some point. They don't go buy it for themselves because you don't always do that. And then you're like, oh, so-and-so wanted whatever. Okay, I'm going to go get them whatever that is. And then you give it to them, and they're super excited. And I could not figure out that stinking closet to save my life. It looked so stupid for some reason because it had the piece missing at the top, and like it showed through the back. So I went with these because these are good old standbys. Anyways, those are really good download pieces. I'm gonna have to find the download link for you guys because they are really useful. They do well in a situation like that where you're building a closet, because it looks like a closet you would actually build. Like there's no wire rack things that you can use. Also, I gave up on this being centered with the beds because, yeah, it just looks better. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Centered on the wall, so it's a little off in the kids' rooms. Whatever. It's so funny. So this is a kid's room with like the 2 twin beds. Oh, I did center it a little bit more. And like, I guess like in my mind, I'm always thinking of guest rooms because we're not having any kids. But this is totally like a kid's room. It really is. It's a stylish kid's room. But it's like the TV is not for little kids. Like your kid shouldn't have a TV in the room. It's fine if they do, but I just kind of, like my niece keeps, because I have a TV in the guest room where she slept, and her brother too. I wanted, like, I have a bed in the office for when he gets older, but right now he's too little, and he just wants to touch everything. Like we went to the bathroom at the gas station down the road from their house, and it's kind of interesting because it's a gas station for truck drivers, but in the women's room there were urinals, and I don't know if that was for little boys or if it was for being like more accepting for the transgender community. I think that's kind of like, part of me was like, that's super awesome and way to go, whatever truck stop company that was. And then the other part of me is like, why would you put a urinal when they could just use the toilet? Like, that makes no sense. Like, the little boys one made total sense because there was one like short one on the ground for little boys. I'm like, that makes total sense. That's fine. But like, my nephew, hands first, ran up to it. Just straight up hands to the urinal, right where other little boys and probably like some men who thought it was funny. Well, actually, no, I guess there wouldn't be any men in there because it's a women's restroom. Anyways, I'm all thrown off because of like the restrooms in Ireland were unisex a lot of the time. So like, we went to the Cliffs of Moher, however you say it. It's a beautiful place. And the bathrooms were all unisex. So like, I was walking into the bathroom like with a Swedish guy and a French woman, and they're totally not fazed by it. So like, my mom and I and my mother-in-law were all walking in like, don't act weird. Don't be the stupid Americans who are like, oh my God, this is totally weird. We don't pee next to men here, you know, or they're back in the States. But yeah, we were like, be cool, be cool. You're a weirdo compared to these people. They think you're weird for not doing this. Just because you think it's weird doesn't mean it is weird. So yeah, that was so I guess it's kind of bringing a little bit of that into the States, which, you know what, if we're gonna make those bathrooms unisex, that's fine. I'm cool with it if it's set up like that. But like, a full-size urinal in a women's restroom was a little strange to me when it was like labeled for a women's restroom. And like, I don't know. I'm spending way too long talking about this urinal thing. It bothered me way too much for the fact that I spent 5 seconds in there. Actually, it was longer than that because we had 2 toddlers with us. Like, my mother-in-law and I drove out there, and it was so funny because she, like, when we were talking about it, she's like, oh yeah, we'll take turns so our legs don't swell too much, because she has some heart problems and things like that. And I'm like, Mom, my legs don't swell. 27 and no heart condition, but, you know, good looking out. And she just was like, oh yeah, duh. Because you don't, like, your reality plays such a big part in how you interact with other people. You don't think that other people aren't going through the same things you are. So, you know, it was just one of those moments. But she's like, I'm gonna let you drive first so that I can kind of wake up and get going, because we were leaving at 6 in the morning. But I tell you what, she came bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and she drove all the way to Indiana, all 4 hours, just fine. She had no problems getting over there. She was all good, and I drove back. Now here's the issue. I should have drove out there, because it's real easy to leave St. Louis. Getting back into St. Louis from Illinois is a crapshoot. Oh my God. I don't drive in the city. I don't live in the city. I thought I wanted to live in the city. Whenever I was younger and I was just out of college, and I was so excited. I was going to work at Barnes Jewish, or I was going to work at Mercy. I was going to work at one of the big hospitals and like walk from, actually I couldn't have walked from the apartment I wanted to Mercy, but I wanted to work at Barnes at that point. So, or SLU, one of the big teaching hospitals. That's what I wanted. And so I was like, I'm going to walk from my couple station loft apartment that's in between the baseball stadium and the Arch, and I'm just going to be this cool hipster lady. And so fast forward, that is not a cool idea. You do not walk yourself to Barnes Jewish. You will get mugged, because St. Louis is dangerous. It sucks to say that, and like people tell me all the time, they're like, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't be afraid to go to the city. I'm not afraid to go to the city. I'm just aware, and you need to be. Like, we didn't get that status for nothing. So watch your back in St. Louis. Anyways, but so I thought all these great things. And that's the big thing. I thought I was going to walk everywhere in St. Louis. I thought I was going to take my little hipster butt down to like the Grove and hang out there. And I was going to like get sushi and get Thai food and walk to all these cool vegetarian places and like be a cool hipster lady working at the hospital and, doing my thing. But I can't drive in the city. It terrifies me. It's really easy to, like, my GPS is updated. My mom's car's updated. We go to get into St. Louis. We're in Illinois, and the GPS says one thing, but the screen shows a different thing. And so struggle, just like this moment on this video. And I ended up in East St. Louis. For those of you who are not from here or don't know, East St. Louis is a bad area. I had to do clinicals out there in college. Somebody tried to steal my shoes in the ER waiting room of the hospital that I was working at for free. Walked right up because it was snowing. It was February. I was wearing rain boots to walk out to my car. I had my school approved all white Nikes in my hands that were brand new. My grandma bought them for me for Christmas because I had to have all white Nike tennis shoes for my uniform. This girl walks right up and tries to take them out of my hands, and I was like, oh, hell no. Sorry about that. And just ran for my car. And like, I'm from Western Kentucky. I'm a little, like, kind of a little country girl. I was very sheltered. All the people in my class are from the St. Louis area. They were messing with me the whole time. They're like, if you get a cop car behind you, do not pull over. Drive to the station, and then you can pull over there. They could be somebody pretending to be a police officer, and they're going to mug you and put you into the sex trade. And I'm like, what? And they're like, park as close to the hospital as possible because you will get mugged in the parking lot of the hospital. And I thought they were messing with me. I'm like, okay, that's funny. Pick on the country girl. Do what you got to do. Whatever. They were freaking right. Like, crazy stuff always happened. I saw like a couple of drug deals. I saw like a gang fight. That lady tried to steal my tennis shoes. It just was so insane over there. Like, I could not believe it. And I still wanted to live in the city after that, though. I just didn't want to live in Illinois. But so because I'm like coming from Illinois and I get stuck in East St. Louis in like an industrial section with my niece and nephew who are 3 and 5. They're little babies and they love to talk to everybody and they're not shy and they're not scared. And I'm with my mother-in-law who couldn't fight off a kitten because, she's cuddly. She's sweet. Anyways, she thinks she's mean. She thinks she's feisty, but I can push her over. So that's not a good sign. We're not in any position to get out of a troubling situation. And I'm just freaking out. And my anxiety goes through the roof and I can't like focus. And my mother-in-law's trying to very calmly explain to me where to go because she's from the area. She knows this stuff. She grew up in St. Louis. Her mom's from East St. Louis. She knows this stuff. And like the GPS is telling me to go this way and that way and turn around. And I'm like, I just want to follow the GPS, Mom. I just want to do that, please. And she's like, okay, we'll do what it says. Okay, it's fine. It's taking you this way. That's cool. That's one way you can do it. And then like we get into the city finally, or like we get to where we're about to get into the city. And she's like, stay in this lane. Just stay right here. It's fine. Because again, the thing is showing the wrong lane and saying the right one. And she's like, stay right here. You're going to be okay. And I'm like stressed out and freaking out. I'm like, do not be mean to your mother-in-law. She's just trying to help you. Do not snap on her. It is not her fault. And then that stresses me out because I don't want to be mean to her. And she's not trying to hurt me. She's not trying to mess anything up. She's just trying to get us out of there. And then like it takes us, we finally get into the city and it's like trying to take us through city streets, like nice areas, but still city streets are really annoying to get back onto the highway to get going back down south. And I'm just like freaking out until I hit Arnold, which if you're from this area, you know, that's a long time to be freaked out. I should have recognized the area pretty darn quick because, I've recognized the area as soon as I see like the first couple of buildings, like the Limp Mansion, stuff like that. That should have been when I calmed down, but it wasn't until I got to Arnold that I calmed down. And like, I finally turned off the GPS there and I'm like, okay, I got it from here. And she looked at me all funny and then she's like, oh, you know where you're at now? And just in her mind, I'm sure she's going, who did my son marry? Oh my gosh, we're in this. Oh no, we're not in screenshots. Okay, we're about to be in screenshots here in a second. This is a little bit of extra landscaping that I did that I told you guys about. But I have rambled. This has felt a little bit like therapy for me because it's been a little crazy lately in life. It has been kind of insane. And it felt nice to talk to you guys. I like this part. I like kind of pretending like I'm talking to you guys. Like I am addressing you guys. It's just kind of like a long voicemail to people who never comment back, except for Tony. Thanks, friend. You always comment. But yeah, that was kind of therapeutic to kind of whine about that because it's still like my anxiety went through the roof just thinking about driving through there because I just wanted, like, if it was just me, I'd be fine. I'd figure it out. But since my niece and nephew were with me and like that first whole night that they were there, I didn't sleep. I got real sick from not sleeping. I was really nervous that they would, get woken up, get upset because they sleep in their parents' room at home and I don't do that. That doesn't happen at my house. And like they get to have different foods. We're on a strict diet here. There's none of that stuff. So I thought they were going to be cranky and like sad about that. And they were awesome. So Yeah, I miss them already. I love them to death. Aubrey, if you do decide to watch YouTube like I showed you, I love you, sweetheart. Tell Bubba I love him, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make